All right. What's up, everybody? Oh, I hate when you guys do that. All right. Fist bumps. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right. Oh, good. Ew. Oh, don't make me forget Indy. Okay, cool. So real quick, this is what we're going to read today. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 13. We're just going to read that last verse. Amen. Uno. See, now I'm being like them, right? I should have told him before I got up here. Sorry, Chris. This light is so bright. Okay, amen. 13:13. Okay, real quick. It's just a small part of chapter 13 of 1 Corinthians, right? That's a good chapter. Amen? Okay, but let's just read it real quick. And now abide faith, hope, love. These three, but the greatest of these is love. Okay, so do we know why these three abide? Did anybody ever wonder or think about why the Lord said that? Anybody have an idea? Okay, well, I did. Okay, Caleb, go ahead. Did you ever wonder why it says these three abide?
Because they're part of God's nature, and God's nature can't die.
Amen. That's perfect. Okay, I thought the same thing. I was like, okay, why these three, Lord? And he told me because they're eternal. They're eternal. They never go away. Amen. So let's look at it. Faith. In Hebrews, and you don't have to go there, Chris. In Hebrews chapter 11, the chapter of faith where it talks about Moses and Elijah and all these kinds of people, right? One of the first instances of faith that it talks about is that we understand by faith that the worlds were created, so that the things that were made by things that were unmade. The things that are seen were made by the things that are unseen. Amen? So faith is eternal. God used faith in the beginning, and he created everything through faith, through his word. We get that, right? So I don't know in heaven what we're going to be using faith for, but we'll probably be building stuff and doing, I don't know what it's going to look like. But faith doesn't go away, even when we're in heaven. Do we get that? Now, the second one tripped me up. I was like, okay, Lord, well, how's hope eternal? Because hope realizes no longer hope. Amen? Right? That's what it says in Hebrews chapter 10? No, chapter 11? I forgot. Hope realizes no longer hope, right? So if I'm hoping for a bicycle, I get a bicycle. I'm not hoping for the bicycle anymore. I got the bicycle, right? So we hope for salvation. We hope for the Father, right? So once we get to heaven, how is hope eternal? And the Lord told me, he said, who's the hope of man? And I said, Jesus. And he said, who's the hope of God? Who's the hope of God? Anyone want to take a quick guess? Jesus is the hope of God. You see, like, our hope for salvation is Jesus. Amen? Likewise, when God looked at us, his hope for man was Jesus. So God, like he had faith in the beginning, he had hope in the beginning for us, and therefore it's eternal. Do we get that? Do we understand that? Jesus is God's hope for man, and that'll never go away. And that's why hope is eternal. Do you see that? Okay. And of course, the last one, love. We know why love is eternal, because love is God, and God is love. So love is eternal, and it never goes away. But if Chris pulls it up again, it intentionally says that, but the greatest of these is love. But I feel like one day the Lord showed me that it's listed last. Has anyone ever noticed that? It's the greatest of the three, but it's listed last. And I feel like God just pointed that out to me one day. It's like, Christian, it's listed last. And everything in the Bible is intentional. It's on purpose. There's no mistakes in the Bible. It's written for us, and It's amazing. It's the greatest, but it's on the end of the list. I was having a hard time this week. Maybe it was last week, I forgot. But I was having a hard time. And do you know how people like experience the Spirit? Some people laugh out loud. Have you ever it hasn't made you cringe in church? Like someone just busts out laughing. They're like, I'm like, oh snap. Anybody ever experienced that? Not you laughing, but like hearing someone just bust out in laughter in church. I'm the opposite. I cry like a big old baby. I just cry. I can't help it. I don't know why. I just cry. Okay, good. I'm not the only one. But it'll be random too. I'll just start to, I don't know, feel it in my heart and I'll just start to cry randomly. Sometimes I'll be like, I'm emotional. All right. I was having a hard time. I wasn't reading the word and I wasn't praying. And I was struggling with thoughts about like struggling with whatever it was I was struggling with. And I would have random moments throughout the week and throughout the day where I felt this overwhelming feeling to like cry. And I was thinking about it and I was like, why? Am I emotional? Am I an emotional person? Be a man, Christian. No, I'm joking. But the Lord said, it's because I'm with you. I started to understand and realize that I feel that way because the Lord, and I need to understand that the Lord is near me. He's comforting me. He's making sure that I feel his presence, that I understand that he's with me. And I experience him that way. I feel him in my heart, and I get thoughts in my head, and I feel overwhelmed, and I start to cry. You see, I wasn't reading the word. I wasn't praying. I was struggling with something, and yet the Lord took it upon himself to make sure that he was very near and close to me and understood that he loved me. And that's why love is listed last. Love is listed last because when you put on love, you put on service. When you put on love, you put on sacrifice. When you put on love, you come under people and you lift them up. It'll never put itself above you. You get that? Isn't that awesome? That's who God is. He gave up his life. He came last. He didn't put himself above us. And the Lord just showed me that just through seeing that love is last. And he'll always make sure to take care of us and put us, I don't want to word it incorrectly, not putting us above himself, but he'll come under us and take care of us. Do we get that? Isn't that awesome? Amen. That's my golden nugget.